Hello, this is No More Worlds, and today I'll be playing another game inspired by Fallout, isometric top-down view RPG, and it's called Encased, a game that came out, oh gosh, a few years back, kickstarted it, I think, and its retro-futurism is a bit more 1970s, which seems readily apparent from this background. And I've played this game before for a little bit, but I haven't gotten far, but YouTube's a good way to, dive right into these things, so why don't we start up a new game? I think classic difficulty would be fine. You can see the details here. Still less damage, not the maximum value done by enemies. Hit points are pretty high for your group and your characters. Yeah, this will be fine. We'll go with classic difficulty.
We woke up in a different world, where the Cold War ended along with the Vietnam carnage. All because of the Dome. The Dome. A territory full of anomalous artifacts, phenomena, and organisms. We still don't know what it is. An alien city? Some kind of a testing ground or storage? Whatever it is, no living thing trapped under the Dome can escape it. Yet even this did not stop the research. The major powers created the Cronus Mega Corporation to develop and explore the Dome. Its secrets became a lucrative business. The Spire station was built on top of the Dome to export the artifacts and import supplies and personnel. The city of Crystal Sands grew at the foot of the Dome, eventually becoming a major transportation hub. All this required thousands of employees, and there was no shortage of candidates. Romantics, pragmatists, and adventurers of all trades swarmed recruiting centers around the globe, seeking jobs at Cronus. You were one of those people. In 1976, your application was approved, and you went under the Dome towards the future. Whether a good one or a bad one, only time will tell.
I'm gonna assume it's bad. That's just how these games work, You have to assume it's bad. Alright, so we can create a character here. I think there's some pre-made ones right here. From what I remember, welcome to the character creation screen. Proceed. Alright. So what I remember, basic stuff's here, and then we have... I do remember how to play this somewhat. There is a picking which group you were put into. Maybe that's in the next screen. But there's a engineering, there's the criminal, there's like a military one. But the reason I kind of enjoyed this game... Let's find ourselves... Oh. So we can add our own custom photos if we wanted to. I really should have done that. But I don't think my model that I'm using right here on YouTube would have matched this amazing specimen. Let's change to female. It's good to know you can change body type separate from gender. That's always fun. And we can have the name Rufus as a woman, and that's good, but we're not going to have that name. There's fewer female portraits, but we'll get something pretty... We can go with that, I guess. One thing I like with games like this is when the portrait matches the image. Let's try to get that as close as we can. Hair type. Is that kind of it? A little bit, I guess. Doesn't really seem to have that hair. I guess we can go with that. Hair color, do we have pink? Kind of pink? Yeah, that's pink. Then head type. Type 5, maybe? 3? That's fine. Maybe we can mess around with hair a little bit more. It's nothing that's really that, sort of pixie-ish. I guess that's good. Hair color, what's features? Those are piercings. It looks like she has, I can't zoom in any. Looks like she has earrings. I cannot see what I'm doing. I'm assuming 7 is earrings, that's fine. They can be at 20, that's all right. Let's go to attributes. I'd also say this is much more red than it is pink, but that's fine. Oh yes, here's the wings. I completely missed it. So you have white wing, which is science. Blue wing, which I believe is sort of the military one. Silver wing, which is sort of leadership positions. Black wing, which is also military. Proud of the world class, built from the ground up. Learnability, melee weapons. So that's melee. Black is also melee, hand to hand. That's guts compared to muscle, I guess. And orange wing, which are criminal. But I think we're going to go with white wing. They're going to be high level. What's silver wing? Oh no, we're going silver wing. So one thing I like about this game is it has psionics in it. It's, you know, science magic. So we definitely go with that. It also gives charisma bonuses, so that's good. I think it gives you a pretty high status position. We won't have as many options for messing around with lockpicking or hacking or that sort of thing, but does it matter when you can use the force? I don't think so. Attribute-wise. Oh, we should change this name as well. We're going to be... not good at thinking names up. There we go. That's a good name. Psy and Psylocke Holmes. Don't judge me. Please don't judge me. All right, so into attributes, charisma is good. And that does a lot when it comes to... Oh, you can see right here, highlights inspiration and authority. Inspiration is... fills the moves of your companions with nimbleness and fidelity. That's increasing their evasion. That's good. And authority is assures your companions that you're making commands the best possible ones, making them... Okay, so increases crit chance for your companions. The hell is learnability? Modifies the amount of experience gained. That's interesting. I mean, this is a pretty good character already. We can probably dump muscle a little bit. It's going to lower our encumbrance. We're not doing any close quarters combat, I don't think. We can't increase these any further, but deafness increase would be all right. Also, brains increase would be good. What is guts? Constitution, stamina, and overall health. Regeneration, defense class, fortitude. This is a lot of skills. I don't really want to deduce anything from that. Why don't we get some more into... Fortune is action points. I think this just kind of affects everything, huh? Contraptions pile. Yeah, I think this is one of those skills, much like in the Fallout series, that kind of has an effect on everything. So what are we going to do with this extra point? Perception. Perception's a good one. We're going to have terrible action points and initiative. That might be fine. Just boost up brains, I guess. Be nice to do some medicine or other stuff. There we go. I don't really want to get rid of psych, and I don't want to get rid of charisma. Those are going to be our highest, you know, our highest tiered abilities. I don't necessarily need the greatest charisma. Let's go to abilities. So that's split into two things. I think they're, yeah, they overlap with each other. So when it comes to combat, psionics. That's probably all we're going to go into when it comes to combat. We're going all in on psionics. And applied, I think, influence, which will help deal us with talking around things. Wrestling with a cat right now. I'm very sorry. And so these are our passive abilities. This is very interesting. I don't unlock any of these, huh? Oh yes, there I go. I did unlock all these. That's excellent. I don't know if I can get... If I can get to 60, I can unlock this next set, which would happen with level up. But I'm curious if there's anything I can do to boost this up. Maybe under traits? There's a lot of traits here. We can go through that in a second. Let's get one more skill tagged. The ability to assess danger. So what's survival at? We can cook. And more accurately assess situations. That's interesting. Criminal. Well, we have access to a lot. We can pickpocket, movement speed increase, and you know what? We'll do some criminal, I think. Maybe. Tag seems to give 30 points to it. We're already pretty high in science and medicine. This will give us biology, chemistry, computer science, maybe science. This is from Evangelion, I think. Perception when calculating chance to see enemy stats. This is locked behind heavy weapons, and this is locked behind criminal. And biochemical damage. I don't know what weapons are biochemical, so that's interesting. Tech, create and repair equipment, repairing weapons, and throwing a wrench. And medicine, we can only really unlock one. With more restore, I don't know. Do I want anything else in contraption? This will help us with traps. We can do high-tech weapons, and actually we can unlock everything with that. I mean, that just might be better. We get a pretty high boost to high-tech weapons. We might need a backup weapon. I don't know what the mana pool is like. Okay, into traits. So with traits, you have many different things here. I think they all come with one downside or a downside with the good. Don Quixote, starting action points and action points +1 in servo shell. Starting action points and action points -1 with no servo shell. I guess that's heavy armor. Slacker is +2 perk points at the start of the game, -3 when leveling up. The hell are perk points? Are these over here? These over here? What the hell are perk points? Which ones are perk points? Prodigy. This decreases experience gain, but boosts our brain stats. Slow poke. Lowers our starting action point at the start of the battle, but increases maximum action points. What the AP maximum is, and action points in general, so that's alright. Intuition, precision, initiative, and saved AP, so the amount that we can save per turn. Bossy, increased charisma, precision, and encumbrance, which means we'll just do less work. Can we go over 10? That would be very interesting. Thrill Seeker. Plus 50% experience, plus 50% with health less than or equal to 35. Experience minus 25% when health is over 35. I don't want to select that. Dark Lore. Damage plus 20% for each companion in the party. Companion learner ability. So our companions get less skills, but we do more damage. That's interesting. Neanderthal, we can't wear pants or a jacket, but I think it gives you more melee weapon, close quarters damage. Redneck, more guts, perk rate. Vampire, fatigue, -400 when killing an enemy. So our fatigue goes away when we kill an enemy. Stun for the next round. Not a big fan of that. Minus regeneration, minus fortitude, plus resilience. Spirituality. Cuts down on all our science, increases our resistances. Lower scientific damages, increases resistances. Penitent 1 gives us a boost to everything. But incoming crit damage is increased by 0.5. Now you're torn apart by the colossal feeling of guilt. I don't know if this is worth it. I don't know how bad incoming crit damage is going to be. But that's a huge boost to everything. Salieri? This is the Mozart's rival, I think. It's been quite some time since I've seen the film. So that lowers damage but increases crit damage. And Gun Fanatic. I'm not wild about any of these. I don't know if I have to take any of them. But I kind of like the idea of Penitent 1, because if I take Penitent 1... go back to abilities and to psionics, I should have unlocked all of these. Maybe it won't count until the next screen. Yeah, I'm going to take Penitent 1. And then Summary. Tons of skills. We can get a high-tech weapon if we want. Psionics is at 80. Jesus. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good on whatever psychic abilities we have. So let's just start the game. So we have Thylock Holmes. I'm not really okay with what I wrote, but we're going with it. Start the game up, and you can see for yourself what it's like. Oh, that's very interesting. Getting a bunch of stuff here, and I got an item. There's a bunch of items I got. This is just the introduction. All right, I think we can talk to people.
A guy wearing thick spectacles thrusts out a sweaty hand.
Monty James, Silverwing.
Doesn't seem like I can press the one button. But what does it continue?
Down at your badge.
Ah, it's you. I found your file extremely interesting, and your CV wonderful, inspiring, really. When I had the opportunity to look over the files of my future colleagues, I couldn't resist. I don't want to sound boastful, but silver level clearance has its advantages.
Monty James spreads his arms regretfully.
Ah, you misunderstood. I don't carry the physical copies with me, but I did get a chance to familiarize myself with them. Ask away.
Monty presses his plump hands to his chest, as if in prayer.
Tamako Kimura from Osaka, a physiologist. She's young, but already has a PhD.
James moves so close, his lips are all but brushing your ear.
Just between you, me, and that lamppost, Kimura has an older sister, Ayaki. She's currently in jail, and Tamako herself spent 2 years in prison, but that is strictly classified.
The Silver smiles and pats the Blue on the shoulder. As the man turns to him, Monty raises his fist in some kind of a weird salute.
Gagarin, Sputnik, Cosmos, Mir, Druzhba, Krasen, SSSR.
He says in Russian. The Blue's mustache twitches and his face wrinkles with a beaming smile.
Comrade Patanin is from the Soviet Union. He's a highly qualified construction engineer. Took part in planning the Spire. He's no spy. Supposedly.
Monty explains, turning to you.
Elsa Olofsson, police captain, City of Stockholm. Former captain, to be precise. Dismissed from service because of a conflicting article. Yeah, conflicting. Let's call it that.
The Silver says in hushed tones.
Avatar's going crazy. I'm very sorry about that.
The Black gives him an unpleasant look, but says nothing.
Give me 1 second. The elevator ride is actually causing my avatar to go crazy. I find that very amusing. Ask about the orange employee.
This is,
Monty adjusts his glasses and peers closely at the orange's badge.
Quentin Bisley. Grand Theft Auto 3 times and 1 B&E. He was about to go down for 12 years, so he filed for the Clean Slate program. And look at that. They accepted him right away.
The Silver shakes his head in disapproval and perplexity.
Sorry, classified.
Monty's plainly flattered by your question.
Harvard. Then I worked in the economics department at Supercolor. They produced a special television model for commuter buses. Did you know that? That was my research. What else? Well, I like sports. Water aerobics is a sport, isn't it? I don't smoke and never eat after 6 p.m. Just saying, these kinds of things aren't in the file.
So saying, Monty abruptly falls silent.
I kind of like this game just because I don't have to read anything out loud. It's wonderful. Okay, so that was everyone. I think if we talk to someone now, we can stop this elevator ride.
A thin, pale young woman is sitting at the window, leaning against the illuminator. The glass is slightly fogged with her breath. She turns to you. Her shiny badge reads Tomoko Kimura, physiologist.
We've crossed the border. No way back now. Even traveling by the funicular wasn't so thrilling.
The white presses small hands to her blushing cheeks.
You were thinking, why have no children been born under the dome? I've got a working hypothesis, but I'm not ready to share it yet.
She says softly, as if answering a question you didn't ask.
On Perception 5, ask Kimura if she sees the dark stain.
Kimura peers through the glass in the direction you indicate.
Oh, that's the aircraft that crashed into the dome during the first expedition. I believe that's a wing fragment, and there's some white canvas. What do you think that is? Maybe a parachute?
The white shakes her head, bewildered.
I just can't believe it. It's all true. We're on our way to meet the future.
Kimura shoots you a surprised look.
You're familiar with the details of the briefing, right? To put it simply, the dome is a selectively permeable environment.
The white draws an invisible hemisphere in the air.
Inorganic objects may exit the dome without difficulty, but any living creature dies if transported back to the outside world. That's why we're all stuck here for an indefinite period of time.
Kimura is eyeing the dome's mesh, glittering in the sunlight.
Supposedly, it's something to do with the atmospheric composition, but it's a weak theory. The difference of the air within the dome is so insignificant as to fall within the margin of error. Or to put it more simply, there is no difference.
She shoots a quick glance at the silver and lowers her voice.
I heard a rumor, or a conspiracy theory, that we can leave the dome at any time. We've simply been told we can't. If you ever decide to test this hypothesis, don't forget to leave me something in your will.
Here we go. If we
Stopping by the door's porthole, you watch as the ground slowly approaches.
This will be the next action trigger. We can talk to everyone. I don't want to. I think they might be companions later on.
It looks brown-black through the tinted glass and smoky blue at the horizon. It almost seems like the clouds are pulling apart there. You can discern the regular pattern of a settlement in the mists, hanging over the northern section. If this is the city, it's nowhere near as miraculous as the brochure. Just a few concrete buildings surrounded by sheds. It resembles the hab pods of a space colony in a sci-fi film. Yet, the scale is impressive. In only 5 years, a small civilization has arisen from these bleak sands to tackle mankind's greatest project. The blues and oranges did their share of the physical labor, but the main credit belongs to the brilliant administrators from Silverwing. At least, that's what you were told during the pre-departure briefing. Just as you're about to move away from the window, you notice a whirlwind beginning to form above the ochre plain. The gathering storm drifts unhurriedly above the desert, a crown of green lightning flashing at its core. Clearly no ordinary weather phenomenon. It must be one of those anomalies. You freeze by the window, unable to avert your gaze.
All right. Let's watch the whirlwind.
The outlines of the landing site, blurred by clouds of dust, appear behind the greenish glass of the porthole. The capsule shudders as the braking devices engage.
Kind of a jerky zoom, but that's fine. Sumo chat to this person.
Come here. Come on now, or you'll miss everything.
A cheerful man in a white lab coat grabs you by the sleeve. A badge reading Ludovico Nuzzi, scientific analyst, export department, dangles loosely on his clean uniform, which still smells pungently of washing powder.
Look over there.
He points upward with a sharp, wide gesture and hands you his field binoculars. You raise the binoculars to your eyes. Under fourfold magnification, the whirling cloud above the rust-colored plains looks even stranger. Its core glows with flickering green light and flashes rhythmically, and that rhythm seems to form a complicated pattern. Nuzzi bends close to your ear.
Fascinating. Do you want me to bring some filters? If we intercept the red and blue spectrums, we'll see something amazing. It's like a signal, some kind of message. I don't know.
Ludovico laughs unnervingly and snatches the binoculars from your hands. With the binoculars raised to his eyes, he minutely adjusts the focus.
It's a massive whirlwind north of Concord, and not merely some desert sandstorm. That's an anomaly. I hope it lasts long enough for me to make a proper observation.
The scientist looks blankly at you, then down at his lab coat.
Ah, this? This?
He lets out a blaring laugh. Ludovico points at the building behind him.
I work in Concord Station, categorizing relics. My job is to classify them by rarity. Then the blues package them, silvers issue the documentation, and oranges move them to the cargo capsule. Just like the one you arrived in.
Nuzzi points upward.
Then the capsule takes the relics way up there, all the way to the spire, then to Crystal Sands by the funicular. They get auctioned off and turned into money. It's not like I endorse this, but we all like ourselves a good paycheck, right?
He offers you his binoculars once again.
Do you want to have a look at the spire? It's amazing. But then you can look at the spire anytime. Now that sandstorm, that's what's truly amazing.
Nuzzi looks from you to the capsule and to the landing terminal entrance. He flings his arms up.
Oh, mi scusi. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. You'd better get going or you'll be late for check-in. Your colleagues are already inside, and the storm is growing stronger. Yeah, the storm is growing stronger.
The White mutters in fascination, eyes glued to his binoculars, which is fixed on the spinning whirl of clouds.
Up the volume.
I'm starting to get bored.
Oh, you better go to the station. Don't forget to register or they won't let you on the bus. He shouts over the growing hall of wind. They stopped talking for a second. That's the first time that happened. That was bizarre. Who's talking? Very heavily armored person down there. That's a servo shell. Okay, that's what they look like. And they all have names, which are cut off where my web camera is. That's fine. Alright. Some nice Fallout style-y art. Propaganda posters on this side. Propaganda ones on this side. 5 years of security engineering. There's trash we can look through. We have some cash. Comm bonds. We have a letter from Cronus. Can I open this? No, okay. Let's keep searching through the trash. Nothing in there. This is authorized. I don't think we have the lockpicking ability.
Never thought this would happen.
Oh, what's wrong with you? Silver wearing thick, glittering spectacles sitting on the orange couch, nervously fingering his badge, which is Monty James. He's the guy in the elevator we saw earlier. Large suitcase rests his feet with a leaflet about the dome perched on top. He looks up at you and studies your face with a squint. Ah, it's you. How do you like the inside of the dome? I'm shocked that the narration stopped and I have to read now, but that's fine. Yeah, we'll be awed by this. He listens with an indulgent smile. When you're finished, he raises a finger in protest. I can't argue. The scenery is beautiful. It's ordinary human negligence set aside a beautiful backdrop. When they sort out my papers and put me in the database, maybe I'll be able to share your enthusiasm, but at the moment, offer to try and register him at the terminal. But he looks up from worrying, I hang now. Are you for real? That would be incredibly kind of you. Maybe my optimism about this place and the people working here was justified after all. You've evidently cheered him up a lot. Alright, we'll see if we can do that. Some sort of public terminal here. I don't know what it does.
Your Selectron has not been properly authorized. Please visit the reception desk to register.
I'm going to have to register first. There's a man in a future suit here. Dean Rayanet. Gives suicidal orders. What does that mean? I'd like to know what that means. Why do I know that about him?
A tall receptionist watches you from behind his desk with a bored, haughty look. He waves impatiently at you to approach. Noticing your silvery uniform, he offers up his best artificial smile.
Welcome. My name's Dean Rayhead. It's my job to help our new employees settle in. Please wait a moment or two while I register you.
The administrator slaps himself on the forehead.
I almost forgot the regulation pre-registration greeting. Just a second.
Rayhead produces a reel-to-reel tape recorder from beneath the desk, rewinds the tape to the beginning, and presses play. The speakers explode with a harsh, crackling sound, over which the tick-tick of a metronome slowly grows louder. Solemn music begins to play, and the administrator's face takes on a serious expression.
Dear employee, on behalf of the Cronus Foundation, I, Administrator Dean Rayhead, welcome you to your new life under the dome.
The administrator clears his throat and continues.
By joining our company, you choose the path of science and progress. You are among mankind's best, and we ask that you live up to this.
Dean squints down at the monitor.
Deserve this title. Do your job honestly. Obey the law. Respect your colleagues and...
The music fades, and the administrator finishes his speech.
And together we will build the best possible future for all mankind.
Dean puts the tape recorder away.
Now that we're done with the official greeting, I'll register you and upgrade your Selectron. Okay?
In case of damage,
The committee ads didn't lie. The interior of Concord Station looks just like the glossy brochure. The high ceiling is finished with matte light panels. The floor is slightly scratched, but nevertheless washed to a mirror finish. Lights gleam soothingly. It's clean, cozy, and bright. Dean taps his pen on the desk to get your attention.
Time is money, my friend. Please keep your mind on what we're doing until I get you registered.
Dean's hands hover over the keyboard. He gives you a nod.
Dictate my information? We can enter our own data into the terminal. Yeah, let's do that.
You squeeze into the narrow window, lean over the reception desk, and key your data into the database. After entering Proceed, you return to your seat. Dean mutters discontentedly to himself as he moves back to his terminal. Rayhead scans the computer screen.
So your position in the waiting list was 63,784. You've been assigned to Magellan Station. A special bus will bring you there after a series of briefings. Please pass me your Selectron so I can update the firmware.
Dean snaps the docking port of your pass to a recess in the casing of his computer. The administrator returns your Selectron.
So, colleague, you now have first-level clearance, which gives you access to the archives on the administrative level, the warehouses, and basically everywhere else except the secure facilities. You also have admin privileges at most terminals.
Dean continues.
All new employees have a short list of tasks to perform on arrival. Do you want to hear all the details or just the short version?
Rayhet nods and points at the ceiling.
First, you need a set of combat gear. Talk to Sidney Maynard, he'll give you everything.
Dean extends his second finger.
Second, weapons. Ms. Margarita Takachenko is the clerk at the armory. After she dispenses your firearm, you'll need to head to the training zone for a brief weapons handling exam.
The administrator straightens his third finger.
According to the latest regulations, all employees must attend a briefing on psi abilities. Applied to instructor Andriy Mihai.
Dean extends his fourth finger and looks at you meaningfully.
Did I tell you about the combat and tactical training? The fourth step is to visit instructor Winston Botherby. And finally, science is the overarching purpose behind everything we do here. Go to Professor Van Alden to learn how to study relics, avoid anomalies, and catalog scientific knowledge. This training is mandatory for all wings, not just white.
Dean catches himself.
Oh, and when you're done with your trainings, proceed to the waiting room. From there, you'll travel to Magellan by bus.
The administrator looks up at you again.
That is all.
He reaches for the tape recorder, but thinks better of it.
Protocol calls for a little welcoming preamble, but dash it all, that's nonsense. Welcome to Concord Station.
As he's about to turn away, Dean suddenly remembers something.
Oh yes, I sent your mail to your Kairos. Check your new messages. Well, that's all, I think.
All right. Can we talk to him and get that other guy registered? Monty? I don't know what this number is next to his name. I'm curious about that.
Dean looks up from his screen and gives you a perfunctory smile.
Okay, I can't do anything with him. It's a public terminal here. We can register Monty James here. So yeah, managers have a special cast. We had full access. Once you're double checked your input, you press send. With a beep, the system accepts your data and redirects you to the main menu. User page, employees, please enter command. We can log in as an administrator because we're Silver Wing, which gives us higher access. News stat, what's classified? 2 days ago, I signed these tasks. I have no data on the scope of the event. Neither did I receive a report from medical staff. My fault. The reports aren't ready yet, but the GP did inform me of something curious. This may be the first time expedition members have exhibited these symptoms. The ring, yes, Sarvovsky calls it the halo eye. We're still researching the physiological effects, but we do have some preliminary data. I want all employees to undergo a thorough examination. Expect to have that information on my desk by the end of the week. Or return to the menu. I don't think we need anything else right now. But we've registered him.
Oh, never thought this would happen.
We've added him to the database. He takes off his spectacles, rests them on a cushion beside him, and envelops you in a big hug. Put his glasses back on. Thank you so much for an impressive example of cooperation with a stranger. Perhaps the dome really is a special place. Now we can search his suitcase. It is locked. Do I have lockpicking? No. I can't force it open, though. It does give me fatigue. I can see it. I'm going to force it open. I'm going to kick the crap out of this. Okay. We're going to take his money. Just going to take all. We gain some fatigue. I don't know where that is listed. We can activate stealth. I don't think we need to do that. Now we have to go do our little tasks. She's suffering from cigarette withdrawal. This seems to be a locked area. And there seems to be blood right here. Or rust. I hope it's rust. This way. So these are bathrooms. There's a vacuum cleaner we can use. We can also use the toilet. Don't think we need to. This seems to be a requisition point from Sidney Maynard.
Behind the storage counter, you see a small, neat guy. His gingery hair shines with something like brilliantine. His badge says, Sidney Maynard, storekeeper.
Oh, what a lovely angel. Came down from the heavens. Good morning, my lady. Is it something urgent? By the way, my name's Sidney. My friends call me Sid, though I prefer a different name. Want me to whisper it to you?
He smiles languidly, leaning on his elbows against the counter. The effect is more laugh-inducing than playful.
This man's sexually harassing me, but that's fine.
Taking his gaze off you, he reaches under the counter, loses his balance, and clips his chin on the desktop as he falls down. A full minute later, he reappears, grimly rubbing his jaw with a thick logbook. He thumbs through it for a long period, squinting nearsightedly. Eventually, he gives up the struggle and reluctantly puts on his glasses. The silver finally stops and pins down a particular page with his finger.
Now, this is your first uniform requisition, right? You can also purchase any equipment you need for the desert directly from me.
Maynard smiles at you over his glasses, practically stripping you naked with his gaze.
Your voice is enchanting, my lady. I could listen to it forever. Right now, you need to listen to me. I am going to give you some instructions. These are the rules.
The man stops flirting, which I kind of want to do, but I want to play this character as bubbly and generally nice until I blow people's head up with my psychic powers. So let's just keep listening.
Sidney fiddles with his hairstyle.
So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Life under the dome can be dangerous. You may get shot, spill acid on yourself, get electrocuted, or suffer the effects of a dangerous anomaly. You may also freeze to death or get fried. That's why it's important to wear protective equipment when traveling outdoors. Of course, in hazardous situations, the equipment will get damaged, and the more it's damaged, the more often one has to repair it.
The silver steps back from his counter to indicate the repair kit boxes piled in the back of the warehouse. He points back at the shelves behind him.
We've got repair kits for this gear. There are Blue Wing specialists ready to help you at any large base, of course, but they're not always available. So you'd better learn how to use repair kits and workbenches on your own. It's a useful skill.
Sidney leans on the counter again and throws you a lazy wink.
No one would ever say no to a cutie pie like you, though. Those are all the instructions, by the way. Shall we get to the giving part now?
The silver disappears into the back for a while and returns with a small package. Unfolding the package, Maynard shows you a brand spanking new uniform. A silver suit jacket with coal-black shirt and dark trousers. Sidney studies the way the light reflects from the cloth as he lovingly smooths the jacket with one hand.
The Silver Wing uniform is fit for field conditions, just in case. But something this fine, you should treat with care, you know.
He raises a finger.
One more important thing. In accordance with Order 16-225, helmets and gloves are not issued, but they're available for purchase from me. Please bear in mind that a full set includes headgear or a mask, jacket, trousers, gloves, and boots.
Sidney hands you the package.
Here's your uniform. Enjoy.
The silver winks at you. It's quite awkward.
I'm happy to chat about something other than work. I hope you don't mind a little conversation.
All right, let's equip this stuff. We got a cute little outfit on. Also, we're very washed out in this. This does not go anywhere. This doesn't go anywhere. This seems to be the servo suit. We can get gloves. I don't want to spend any money right now, though. Does it tell us our defense? Yes, defense class 4. This actually is bad for evasion. It's interesting. Alright, can I search this container? I can. Hacking software packages and fixer. Take all.
Anything urgent, Mr. Kratchkov?
Katarzyna, did you mark it as Class 1 again instead of 2? Look, here's the scanner data. It says the relic is a device.
Wait, but it's still Class 1. I'm not going to violate protocol.
Katarzyna, my dear, you may violate protocol as long as it benefits the company. Take your lead from your colleagues. Correct your report if you have to, and don't act so innocent.
Vladimir, I'm done. How do we mark it?
Class 2 fragile. Tell Noyan the relic should go out.
And our weapon?
The smell of good tobacco wafts off this tall, portly woman from a meter away. A black lacquered pipe, an open logbook full of signatures, and a metal flip calendar sit on the counter in front of her. A small nameplate reads, Margarita Tukachenko. The woman fixes her coppery hair with one hand and casually lights her pipe.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Her voice is deep and gravelly. Margarita thumbs back a couple of pages in her logbook.
I see. This was your first receipt.
She glances at her Kairos, looks at you, snorts, and retreats to the shelves. Tukachenko returns a couple of minutes later, carrying something that looks more like a toy than a weapon. The weapon seems weightless as she spins it around her finger.
I ain't telling you shit about this thing, cause that's exactly how much I know. Laser, schmazer, cadmium battery, fiberglass body, blah 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 blah. You probably know more about it than I do. Here.
Like this. It knows I'm very good with energy weapons, so it gave me an energy weapon. That's always great to see in an RPG. It's not something I see terribly often either. Let's just accept it casually, like we were trained. Don't want to threaten her.
Margarita drags on her pipe and releases a puff of thick yellow smoke.
I see you know the rules and won't cause problems.
Tukachenko bites down on the stem of her pipe.
Are you kidding me? I'm a different breed. One that doesn't understand toy guns. What if it turns out to be radioactive? Sorry, but I can't help you out on this one.
The black regards the Andromeda suspiciously.
Fuck it. If it breaks, bring it back and I'll trade it in for another one. There was a little cloth in the box it came in for cleaning the lens. That's all I know.
The armorer shrugs, puffing indifferently on her pipe.
It's the least I could do. We have a requisition list from the Silvers. For free, you receive only rubbish. If you want the real deal, check out the weaponry shop. Or me.
Leaning over the counter, the black points somewhere off to one side.
Now it's time for your training. Fatherby is already waiting for you by the big gate. He's a bit dotty, but a good man nonetheless. But before the training zone, go see that wizard guy with his toothpicks. Be careful around him, though. Don't let him pitch you a line. Psychic my ass.
She winces in disgust.
Alright, let's equip this gun real quickly. So we have 2 skills with it. Energy shot, which I assume is normal. It's probably AP cost. Is that 3 number up there? And then ionization, which 60% damage chance, 50% plus 5% perception, fortitude, causes electrical shock for 3 rounds. Okay, so it's a status effect. Alright, 3 and 4. Alright. Where's the wizard guy?
The Silvers about that idiot. They'll take the appropriate measures. I hate those oranges. What the hell do they break locks for?
Is the wizardy guy? So this is a break-in door. Can't do that. I guess I can go through this door?
Well, you've got quite an aura. A lean silver with thick black hair and a huge cigar clamped in his teeth is sitting in front of you. As you approach, he flashes a sly grin and slowly raises an outstretched hand above the table. Something really weird happens. All the paper clips, pencils, scattered toothpicks, and bits of trash float up from the table and hang in the air. The silver badge reading Andrei Mihai, Science Instructor, floats up as well.
We're gonna do this, obviously. Let's show him our skills.
You thrust your hand forward, and your outspread fingers emit barely visible sparks of energy. Pencils, paper clips, toothpicks, and pistachio shells dance chaotically in the air. The silver sticks out his lower lip as if to say, not bad, and gives you a thumbs up. The objects clatter back onto the table.
Here for the briefing, huh? Shall we get to it?
He takes the cigar out of his mouth and exhales a lush cloud of smoke. The silver props his elbows on the table.
Anyway, here's the deal. It's more profitable for people with a high psyche to study psionics. Give me your hand.
Not waiting for an answer, he grabs your hand with strong, dark fingers. He jerks his hand back at once, then touches you again, carefully and distrustfully.
Whoa. You know you've got one hell of a talent, huh? Slimy little bastard, you. You want to take my office, I know. But you sure got some power there.
The silver takes a thin glove covered in talc from his desk and passes it to you.
Look, a glove, right? But it isn't just a glove. This is an ooh mama hold me tight glove. It takes energy from your noggin, your psyche, and pew, concentrates it.
He counts off on his fingers.
Learn psionics. Put on the glove. Transform energy into the necessary shape. That's the whole briefing. Simple? Simple. Now to your questions, huh?
You don't have to ask him twice. Mihai picks up a light bulb from the table, gripping the base in his hand. The filament begins to glow faintly. Soon enough, it comes to full heat and glows bright orange. In a little over a second, the bulb is shining with a steady white light. The silver laughs contentedly. The silver takes a pull at his cigar and releases a self-important puff of smoke.
Psionics. It's a gift for all of us. The forefathers took off someplace. Poof, gone. Only the dome remains. And this. Psionics, huh?
He rocks back in his armchair, puffing on his cigar. The toothpicks again slowly rise up from the table. Mihai spreads his dark hands. Toothpicks hover around his head in a kind of halo.
Scientists say everyone has an organic skill called psyche. You have it, I have it, everyone has it, huh? Big psyche? You got talents. Small psyche? No talents. You'll need to carry a lighter all your life.
We have a spectral psychokinesis glove. I assume I can switch between weapons with one of these buttons. There we go. Or you can press comma. So we can phase shift. Teleports the target within 15 meters. Does not affect large targets that occupy more than 1 square meter. Psi confusion. Target goes into a state of insanity and might attack its own allies. That's really useful. And Psi shock. Does damage. Alright, that's good.
As you reach to open the sliding door, an engineer in a bright blue jacket stops you.
Hold on there, Chief. It's out of order. See? You're a newcomer, right? It's a straight-up open house here today.
He offers you his hand. According to his badge, this is Maxim Penkovsky, technician. The technician slaps the door with one hand.
You have to wait until I'm done. Some orange jammed up the lock with chewing gum just for a laugh. They're like animals, those oranges. Marking their territory. If you ask me, they're too gracious about those bastards in Crystal Sands.
Penkovsky chuckles.
Looks like you don't get it. Tons of relics pass through Concord. The base is laid out to make everyone walk a single route, with the top level as separate as possible from the bottom. You get the memo?
He turns back to the lock.
So in the meantime, take a load off. Have a coffee. Loosen up. Watch the storm through the window. You'll be seeing a lot of those out here.
Maxime extracts a thin, sharp, precision probe from behind his ear and dangles it in front of you.
Though there's another way. You want to learn something about picking locks? It's a useful skill in all sorts of situations.
He looks at you expectantly. Penkovsky shrugs.
Pick this lock specifically as much as you like. But in general, yes, it can be illegal if you try to get in where you shouldn't be, or open other people's lockers. No one will get upset if you touch an ownerless door.
The blue's getting excited.
All right, looky here.
Penkovsky presses his pick lock, and an odd device resembling a hybrid of a screwdriver and a can opener into your hand.
Using a mechanical pick lock is easy peasy. No special skill required. They wear out after a few locks. While the old-fashioned kind is another thing entirely. Cheap, one use. But one has to know how to use it right. That's a tool for a master.
Maxime takes out another pick lock and crouches by the door. He gives you a quick lesson on how to pick a lock.
By the way, you can carry your tools in your belt. It's much handier to have them right there.
Penkovsky shows you his utility belt, where he keeps all kinds of tools and gadgets.
Actually, finding tools under the dome is no problem at all. There are even devices for hacking terminals and so on.
Maxime hoists up his belt. The blue solemnly raises his index finger.
And one more thing. Always use brand name stuff if you can. Groovy produces good kits. Modus and Supercolor do too. They've all got fat contracts with Cronus, so they care about quality.
He looks at the door again.
Damn these locks. Though I'd rather be doing this than fixing hab pods. Those are a real pain in the ass.
Penkovsky gives you a patronizing look.
Because they're poorly made, warped from the heat, and the filters aren't worth a damn. The modules were constructed by marketing managers, not engineers. Building a city in the desert was also their idea. This project is all about PR. Cronus wants to show the world how tough they are.
All right. Well, picking them up.
I repeat, get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt. And then, apply it to the door.
All right, we have a lockpick.
Yes, apply is the proper word. You're doing great. All right, off you go. I'll keep working on this lock because of that orange. Hey-oh.
All right, that's a very New York.
An amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
That's a lot. That's a lot being thrown at my way. I think it's a good place to call it for now. There's still some tutorial to do.
An amazing excursion to a world of new technology.
I'm gonna walk away from this person.
Ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive.
So yeah, still some more tutorial to do, but I think it's gonna be worth it. Just gonna search this janitor's area. We can get a broom or a mop. Yeah, let's take all of that. So yeah, I'm definitely going to continue doing this. I'd like to see how combat works in a little bit. Okay, she's going to keep doing that, huh? And yeah, I've been No More Worlds. Thanks for joining me, and bye for now.